network.
I'm very sorry, I'm getting a lot of calls.
Okay. I wish there was another phone you could use that will give us clarity. All right, because people are gonna keep calling you. Okay, so
That's
for a balance of perspectives, we haven't heard from we heard from Naira Marley via Reno or Mockery, and that was just that. We haven't heard from Sam Larry, we haven't heard from anyone else, and we want a balance of perspectives. Now, I'm not going to ask you the questions today. The questions are going to come from the comment section, and we're going to invite people live. Okay, so I'm just going to moderate the section because I want it to be a lawyer versus public conversation as against a lawyer versus Daddy Freeze conversation. If you want to ask any question, please be respectful. Please be respectful. Um, by the grace of God and by the competence of the police, we will discover who and what led to the untimely demise of Mobad. But we, watching one or two videos at home, cannot determine who is responsible or who is guilty. So please feel free to ask any question, but first of all, please introduce yourself and please address our people at home. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, share the video on YouTube, share the video on Facebook so more people can get to see what we're talking about today. And like I said earlier on, we've got Naira Marley's lawyer with us tonight to address us. Please go ahead, sir.
Please, thank you very much for having me. My name is Gani Arobo. I am one of the lawyers who's working for Naira Marley. There are quite a few most of who came up to join his team pro bono. Apparently, they were surprised at the quick dispensation of justice against him by the mob, and it's hiked a sense of personal responsibility as lawyers to say, look, let us dig into this matter, and we are dealing with a very interesting situation. It presents both an opportunity and a challenge. As a lawyer, I will speak only to the issues of law and maybe some of the facts, because the police has somewhat concluded an investigation. We were very disciplined from the beginning. It's not as though we were not seeing all the activities, very coordinated activities of some social media players. But we decided that the most important thing was to focus on the police investigation and not distract from it, And that was the reason why we ensured that Naira Marley came back to the country. And under extremely difficult circumstances, and I will explain that. I want Nigerians to know that Naira Marley had left Nigeria on the 31st of August 2023 to his residency permit in Netherlands. And he had already made the application and began the process. On the 12th of September, sadly, Ileri Oluwa Promise Aloba, aka Mobad, passed on in circumstances that had no business with Naira Marley, who was not in the country at all. Now, the social media outburst started almost immediately. Naira is involved. Naira killed Mobad. Naira bullied Mobad. Naira this, Naira that. The young man did not understand where it was coming from, because from all the available evidence, even those interrogation, it is clear that the last physical contact between them was sometime in 2022. And you know that as it relates to murder or homicide, manslaughter, you know, there must be at least physical contact, either directly or indirectly, with the person that is deceased. And there must also be the mental element, where the intention is there to commit the offense, which is called mens rea, then you call it murder. If the intention is not there, maybe it arose out of negligence, we call it manslaughter. So, when the noise became so loud and all that, and you know that Naira Marley is not only a human being, he's an artist and also a brand. It was a serious issue of concern, and you know what? We've got to address this issue frontally. You cannot be in the Netherlands and all this allegation is flying left, right, center. Why don't you make a quick return so that we'll come and confront these issues straight up? So we began discussing with the police to notify them that he was going to come, you know, and that we needed the police to arrange for his security and all that. The police assured us that, look, let him come, he will be safe and all that. So we said, okay. So in order for him to come, and I'm sure everybody can verify this, because he had made an application for the renewal of his residency permit in Netherlands, he was prohibited from leaving Europe as long as the application is pending. The only alternative was for him to cancel that application. So he had to make a decision. If I stay back and wait for the application process to run out, they will say I'm avoiding the police. If I cancel this application, everything I came to do in the Netherlands, I would have forfeited. But for him, addressing the issue of Mohbad was far, far more important. So he actually cancelled the application, you know, and rushed back to Nigeria, arrived, and immediately was taken in by the police and taken to Panti, where the team of investigators were operating from. On, I think that was on Wednesday. On Thursday, we sat down together with the interrogators for almost 6 or 7 hours. Lengthy interrogation. And it was very revealing. It was very revealing because there are so many things that Nigerians are not aware of. Naira Marley has been completely misrepresented by people who are deliberately taking out this issue out of context. You know, whether they have an agenda or not, they have successfully moved a lot of people into thinking that Naira Marley is a monster on 2 legs. This is a guy that met Mohbad. Mohbad kept sending him his freestyles on Instagram DMs, just sending it to him regularly. This is my stuff. Please look at it, look at it. And he was looking at the thing as, man, this guy is a talented guy. So in 2019, he took a decision to take Mohbad in, you know, and sign him on to the record label. And he made that offer to Mohbad, and Mohbad immediately accepted, was very excited. But the mistake that Naira Marley did was that he didn't conduct his own due diligence before taking in Mohbad, you know. But that's a story for another day. Mohbad joins the record label, and unlike what people are bandying about, I want Nigerians to produce any other artist in this country who has a contract with any of his signed artists where he invests 100% of all the resources required to nurture, train, and perfect his crafts. Yet he shares 50-50 of everything that is earned with the artist. That is the deal Naira Marley has with Mohbad. Naira Marley makes all the investments. After doing that, when Mohbad begins to earn money, Naira Marley shares 50-50 with Mohbad. I just saw something today where Portable was saying that he has spent 300 million on one artist. 3 million rather on one artist. And that he has only made 70,000 naira again, and that he's driving the boy away. That he's tired of spending money on people that don't yield profits. The long and short of it all is that Naira Marley made the investment, and kept pushing Mohbad. When they come to him for shows, and he said, look, I don't want this show, it's too cheap, maybe it's like 10 million, I don't want a 10 million naira show. He puts Mohbad forward, you know. So everything was fine and dandy, and you know, Naira Marley had the artists in a separate building from his house. So that building is known as the Malian house. Then there's another building which is his own house, and then there's his studio in another house. So they are all three different houses. They did not stay together in the same space. You know, so Mohbad started having issues with the record label when at some point he came out and made a video that anything that happens to him, they should hold the record, they should hold Naira Marley responsible. And Naira Marley was not even in the country at the time. So by the time he came back, it was of the view that why would you make a video like this? Mohbad was very apologetic that he had a psychotic breakdown, you know, and that it will never repeat itself again. Let's fast forward to on the 5th of October 2022. On that day, Mohbad came to the studio with 4 boys. He saw Naira Marley in the studio, and Naira Marley said, what do you want? Now, something that happened earlier in the day, I think it began around 11 o'clock in the evening. There was an argument on the group chat where Mohbad had said that he did not want his manager again. The manager was of the view that, why would you say you don't want me again? You told me that you would do 15%. You would do 10% instead of 15%. I agreed. What is the reason you don't want me again? Mohbad said he didn't like the way he was working, he wasn't promoting, blah, blah, blah. So again, the whole thing degenerated into an argument between 2 young boys. So Naira Marley stepped in and said, you guys stop this noise. Mohbad, if you want a manager different from this guy, go and get that manager, bring him, and we'll allow him manage you. Whoever you want to manage you, just bring the person, and we'll allow him manage you. That was where the conversation ended. Only for Mohbad to come back that evening with those 4 boys. And then I called him and I was like, what are you? See that issue of this? Please, just go home and rest. We'll see tomorrow and we'll bring the manager tomorrow. We'll resolve everything. Mohbad called the manager on his phone 6 times, and the records are there. The police has that. He called the boy 6 times on the phone to come out. The boy was not with his phone. At the 6th call, the boy rushed out. When the boy rushed out, said, what is this? What is it? Mohbad said, come and meet me at the studio. And when he got to the studio, what did the late Mohbad say to him? You slave, you were that thing you were saying on the chat, repeat it again. And then the fight started. Before you know what's happening, everything had gone completely out of control. By this time, Naira Marley was still upstairs in the studio. So they rushed upstairs to go and get him. Immediately he came down, the first thing he did was to ensure that he held Mohbad and shielded him into the vehicle and asked him to leave the scene immediately. Now, the vehicle he shielded Mohbad to get into is an RX 350. I think it was bought in 2020. That car was bought brand new for him by the same Naira Marley. Right? So if Naira Marley was going to assault him, at least JB will collect his car from him now. But it was that car that Mohbad drove in and left the scene together with the 4 boys that he came with to come and attack his manager. Eventually, a few hours that same day, lawyers from Mohbad wrote a letter saying that Mohbad is no longer signed up to the record and he was terminating his contract. So the understanding on the side of Naira Marley was like, all along, all they wanted was to terminate his contract. Okay, no problem. And between that time till the day that Mohbad died, Naira Marley did not set eyes on Mohbad again. That evidence is unchallenged. It was elicited under interrogation with the police. So that is the reason why we are a bit happy that the police found that there was no connection between Naira Marley and the death of Mohbad. There was no proximate connection. There was no connection whatsoever. He could not have killed him. He had no reason to want to kill him. He had no business killing him. So the only other thing that people have not also noted is that at the time Mohbad left the record label, $70,000 was what he left with. This is a fact. $70,000. These are facts. So we're not talking.
Can you explain $70,000 in a bank account, in cash, in Bitcoin? How?
Yes. In cash, in money that was taken, the money that was taken by him. You understand? And the record label said, no, don't worry, go with it. We're not going to engage you with it in it. We're not going to have any issues with you on it. Because, first of all, people have to understand that Naira Marley picked Mohbad from the streets. He was proud that Mohbad had become the artist that he was becoming. If for some reason Mohbad now felt that he no longer was comfortable with the record label, Naira Marley was comfortable with Mohbad living. He had no problem with it. He had other artists anyways. He had Zino, C Black, and a few others. And there are a lot of others who are also coming up to the stream. So there was absolutely no motivation, no motivation whatsoever for him to cause harm to Mohbad. Then, when you now look at the preliminary report of the police, which has now narrowed down the proximate cause of death to be the actions taken by a so-called quack nurse, you would then find that indeed Naira Marley had no business whatsoever with the death of Mohbad. Between October 5th, 2022 to September 12th, 2023, Mohbad lived his life, made new friends, interacted with new people, did new things. So if you are looking for anything as it relates to Mohbad's death, it cannot be an incident that happened in 2022. It certainly cannot be that. It has to be an incident that happened within the immediate period when the unfortunate incident occurred. So that is why we say that the report of the police, as it relates to that, right, was spot on. You cannot fault it. And we also, like many other Nigerians, are very eager to see the report, the autopsy report, and the toxicology report. The autopsy report will conclusively state what the cause of death was. Right? The police has added a guess that it might have arisen as a result of the several medications that were administered, and then he reacted and all that. But there might be several other factors. Maybe because he had fought somebody on the 10th of September, maybe he was bleeding internally, because if you talk to some other doctors, they will come to some other conclusion that administering those drugs on their own might not be enough. Maybe he was having internal bleeding, maybe there were issues of substance abuse and all that. And when the drugs interacted with those things, I'm not a qualified, I can't speak to that. So the autopsy report, which is going to be done by qualified medical experts, which in any case the police, the newspapers have reported that the police said it was ready, but the CP today said it was not ready. So I'm going by what the CP said. We hope that is ready as soon as possible. That will also answer conclusively certain open questions. Then the toxicology report. The CP mentioned it in passing, but that is a very crucial matter, right? If you say the man was intoxicated, with what? Did he drink beer? Did he smoke shisha? What intoxicated him? What was the substance that intoxicated him before he got into a fight with his best friend, supposed best friend, who was acting according to the police in his best interest? So we need that toxicology report to be able to determine the extent to which that had an impact in causing the unfortunate unfortunate incident. Now, what we have a problem with, and what we are not particularly satisfied with, is the fact that it would seem that from the moment Mohbad passed, a few people got together and took a conscious decision to pin this on both Naira Marley and Sam Larry.
Okay, sorry, before you go any further, you've spoken about Naira Marley. Can you please address Sam Larry? Because there was a popular video showing Sam Larry holding cutlass. What's his name? Was there in that video, that other rapper? Zlatan was there. Mohbad was there. And in that video, it did not look confrontational. It just looked like Mohbad was sitting pretty and this guy came. And then, so let's talk about Sam Larry. Let us also talk about the allegations. You see, we personally, I don't want to share opinions on this, but personally, it looks to me like direct, say, the by person. We cannot point fingers at Naira Marley or Sam Larry, especially with the alibis that you have given. But how can we walk away from the bullying, harassment allegations that abound? We've heard voice notes, we've seen videos, and all this. So please, I'd like you to address that.
Thank you very much. That's a very crucial point, and I was going to come there. But thank you for fast tracking my arrival to that point. Let me quickly address the issue of bullying first of all, as it relates to Naira Marley, right? Before I come to Sam Larry, because my work is with respect to Naira Marley primarily, although we also understand that Sam Larry is in similar situation. Now, between October 5, 2022, when Mohbad left the record. Of course, Naira Marley could not have been bullying Mohbad when he was signed onto his record label. So if we're talking about bullying, it had to have occurred after he had left the record label. Now, between October 5, 2022, when he left the record label, till September 12, 2023, Mohbad did not go to a single police station to report that Naira Marley was bullying him. Unlike, in any case, Mohbad had the knowledge of reporting whenever the issue of bullying came up, because he went to report the issue of Sam Larry. So there's no direct allegation by Mohbad against Naira Marley as it relates to bullying. Instead, what we have as it relates to Naira Marley is a video evidence that Mohbad's wife called Naira Marley whenever Mohbad was in crisis. And the wife has not come out to deny that till this moment. Whenever Mohbad was in crisis, Naira Marley was the go-to guy. Now, do you go to the person that is bullying you? That the free sir, please help me. The person is bullying you. Is that the number one person you call when you are in crisis? No, certainly not. So the question of bullying does not arise at all. And even the police, in their preliminary report, they narrowed the allegation of bullying as it relates to Naira Marley to October 5 events, 2022. They didn't say that it continued after that. They narrowed it to that specific date. And if you look at all the videos that have come out from that date, you will not see Naira Marley in any of those videos. Not one. Because it wasn't part of that activity. And in any case, that fight started because Mohbad brought boys to the house to confront his manager. And whatever was done in that circumstance to defend themselves cannot be referred to as bullying. In any case, who will be bullying if I bring boys to somebody's house to come and forcefully make a point? I'm not the one bullying the person. So the issue of bullying by Naira Marley is unsubstantiated. It's just being repeated by this lover, Iyabo Ojo. In any case, we have a package for those ones. When we are done with this whole thing, by the grace of God, and the truth is out, there are legal processes by which we will interact with them. Because you can't behave in such an irresponsible manner, you understand, as they have behaved, and go home as sleep without consequences. No, there are legal tools by which we will address the behavior. So, as for Naira Marley, I believe very strongly that no matter how hard you look, you will not find a single incident where Naira Marley bullied him. Now, as for Sam Larry, what I understand, speaking to his lawyers and speaking to him directly, is that on that fateful day, I think it was sometime in June 2023, I think he came to Elegushi Beach for something else. And then, as soon as he walked into that scene, where I think they told him that some people are shooting, some musicians are shooting a video somewhere around the beach. So, of course, being somebody who is involved in promoting music and all that, he wanted to know who and who were involved in that activity. So he went there. So as soon as he got in there, now to confirm that he did not know that it was Mohbad, you remember that if you look at that video, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, he was here, so it's even himself. That was the first thing he said, to show that he didn't even know the person that was there. So, it's even this one that is here, said, you will not go home today. Oh, Lord, you know? Immediately said that, he observed that Zlatan got up and tried to stop him from approaching Mohbad. Now, and that video is a 9-second video. That if it will interest you to know, there is a longer version of that video.
Can we see it?
That longer version, yes, I will send that to you. I will send these materials to you. That longer version of that video shows these guys eating amala together shortly after that incident. Oh yeah, you won't believe that.
I want to see it too. If you can show us now, so I can even play it. If you can send it to me by WhatsApp.
I will send it to you by WhatsApp. I have to pull it up from somewhere, please. I will send it to you. I have seen the video myself. Zlatan was wearing the same shirt he was wearing at that video shoot.
And Mohbad was also there.
Mohbad was there. I think Mohbad had changed his own clothes. You know? But that same day, they went and ate amala together. Now, I don't want to rat out Zlatan, but I expect that Zlatan will come out and clarify on this issue, because we know what he said to people, including Davido, as it relates to that incident. He was specific as to whether or not Sam Larry did anything to Mohbad on that day. But
Zlatan, we want to hear from you.
Daddy Freeze, don't take my word for it. Let us go to Mohbad's petition before the police in Alagbon. Right? If you have seen that petition, he made very strong allegations. One of the allegations he made in that petition was that the equipment, right, that was to be used for recording that very video shoot was destroyed by Sam Larry and his boys in that incident, and that equipment cost 5 million naira. He further alleged that there was an 8 million naira that he paid, for the purpose of the entire shooting activities and all that, blah, blah, blah. So now the question would be that if the equipment for shooting the video was vandalized by Sam Larry and his boys, according to you, you will be unable to play out that activity that day, at least, Abi. Now, it will shock you to know that that video was shot on that day. They completed the shooting on that day, sir. And they have since rolled out that video, right? And have been making commercial benefit from it. The same video that he said equipment to make the video were vandalized. Now, he said he paid 8 million. We said, okay, no problem. Bring the account to which you paid 8 million. Or was it cash? Name the person you gave the money to. These were the issues that arose in Alagbon when the police called him to come and to interrogate him. To say, okay, come and substantiate your petition. Do you know that Sam Larry went to Alagbon 3 times? Alagbon they invited him 3 times. He went there 3 times. He wrote his statement. And when on the 3rd of occasion, after inviting Mohbad to come and substantiate the petition and he didn't come, Sam Larry's lawyer was forced to then do a counter petition alleging that Mohbad made false accusation to the police. So my sense is that, and if you look at the petition also, you see a lot of this thing. He said there were guns, that Sam Larry's boys came with guns, and that they came with dangerous weapons and all that. Now, if you look at that video, you won't find anybody carrying a gun anywhere. So the question as a right-thinking person is, if an incident that is bad occurred, do you need to pepper it and flavor it with additional lies in order to make it look bad? No. You only do that when you don't have sufficient facts to establish guilt. If I'm not able to show that this thing this person did is bad, I will lie on his head. But I don't have to lie. If somebody slaps me, for instance, I don't have to lie on your head that you punch my eye now. You slap me, that's wrong. But if you did not slap me and I want to put you in trouble, I will say you slap me. So that petition by Mohbad, it contains a lot of inaccuracies that tells me, right, that he tried to overcolor and overflavor the incident of that day, and that his representation and recollection of the incident might not be accurate. Which leads me to the point that, look, let us even agree, between you and I, let's even agree that Sam Larry bullied him in June 2023. Is that what now killed him in September 2023?
My dear brother, please let us not commonize the bullying. Let us not make it look like it's a small thing. The fact that we are unable to relate it to the pie does not in any way mean that bullying, especially from Sam Larry's side, because evidence suggests, even if it was whether they overcolored it or they overpeppered it or they overflavored it, there was something there. Something there with the pepper, salt, flavor, something there. Naira Marley's side, on the other hand, is more of hearsay from my understanding, because we've not seen any direct. But Sam Larry, on the other hand, we have direct. Linking the direct harassment and bullying to the end product might be hard, but we cannot, and I don't want us to commonize it, because this is very emotional. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are crying. There's one woman who sent me a message. She says she sees Sam Larry in her dream every night. She's traumatized. She had to go into therapy. I'm not joking. A Nigerian woman in USA.
That feels. I completely understand. And first of all, I'm a father, right? Every time I see Mohbad's father, right, I cannot imagine the amount of anguish and pain. Because his story about Mohbad is one of him being there for this boy, right? And if you listen to some of Mohbad, I will send you some of his songs. Many of his songs that people have not even heard. The guy sings his songs and tells his story, right? He talks about his troubles, many of the troubles that he had even before he joined the Malian record, and all that. So I don't, if I have said something that suggests that I'm not sensitive to the fact that bullying is unacceptable, then I will take that back. Because I don't intend to conclude that message. Bullying is unacceptable. But you see, the challenge that we have is that what the police opened the investigation into was a murder case, right? Now, once you are doing that, there are elements in law that you are looking for. You understand what I'm saying? And it is the people who are active as it relates to those elements that you drag in and begin to say, okay, what is your role in leading to this eventual unfortunate outcome? Otherwise, the disease, may God rest his soul, was involved in several interactions. I can guarantee you that Sam Larry or Naira Marley were not the only people we had interactions with. Right? Many other people who are not named today, who were not videoed or recorded, So are we going to launch an inquisition into all of that? That is the reason why the investigation as it relates to the cause of death and possible culpability of people who were active around the time of his passing, right, is to reveal, you understand, the set of facts. And if you look at the way the CP presented it today, the event began on the 10th of September. And it led up to the 12th of September. So my own assessment of the view expressed by the police is that in one breath, they have a plausible cause of death where the nurse is a principal actor. But having settled that question, let us now go back in time and go and examine several other independent activities. My view is that you can't lump these two together in the same investigation, because it then gives the coloration that one is a consequence of another. It's like a man living with a woman in a house. Even if they are not married or they are not engaged in a relationship, the presumption would be that they are all their siblings. So once you open an investigation into those isolated incidents, which in themselves may not be proper, right? In the midst of an active murder investigation, you give the impression and the coloration that these other isolated incidents are a part of a chain of events. So to break that chain, particularly for our people who do not understand the legal niceties, is often very difficult. But fortunately, we have the Office of Attorney General, people with lawyers who are trained to do this, and the judges who are also experts at handling this on a daily basis. So my view is this, that phrase. This incident, right, was completely taken out of context by people who had a target on Naira Marley and Sam Larry, even by the police preliminary report, because it has said that they have no hand in the cause of death. But if you look at how this whole thing started out, they said you should go and look for Naira Marley and Sam Larry, they killed this guy. If the guy had died of depression, for instance, you can say, okay, maybe their bullying or their intimidation led him to have high blood pressure, which ultimately led to, you understand? But there's a specific activity that was carried out by the nurse that interacted with his body and led to the consequence, which has triggered this entire conversation. So the problem is you cannot lump all these things together under one umbrella. So also, because those guys began that narrative of pinning the actual murder on Naira Marley and Sam Larry, I believe that the authorities got marinated in that conversation. I'm sure you are used to the American system of adjudication, when the jury system. Now, there's a principle of law that when a matter becomes so when something becomes so charged, when it's talked about, there's so much, and then you now go to that very community where the issue is so charged to pick the members of the jury, and the jury arrives at a verdict. It is a ground for whoever is affected by that decision to challenge the conclusion of that jury by saying that they were marinated in the propaganda of the day. So they could not separate their emotions from the facts. So we believe that the investigation to some extent, as it relates to Naira Marley particularly, and maybe Sam Larry, but especially we speak more to that, you understand, was a product of the marination of the investigators with the social media hype. They just needed to offer a piece of offering, sort of sacrificial lamb. Otherwise, Naira Marley has no nexus whatsoever. Even you said it just that there's no direct So what is the basis of coming to the conclusion that there is a case of assault, bullying, and cyber stalking, to be responded to? So that's why, for us, we believe that justice for Mohbad is justice for truth, for the facts, and for accountability of the persons who were directly responsible for the unfortunate incident. Now, we have seen several scenarios where things like this happen, and after a while, the facts will come out, somebody will come out and apologize and all that. In this case, I don't think that it is the intention of people like Naira Marley and Sam Larry to wait for people to come and apologize. They are very, very hurt by the fact that they have been wrongfully accused. Both the Islamic religion and the Christian religion condemn people who bear false witnesses. When you testify to things that you don't see, things that you were not part of, but you are talking about it authoritatively as if you were there, it all happened in front of you. So we believe that at the end of this entire process, there will be further action against specific individuals who we are convinced had an agenda from the get-go to undermine both Naira Marley and Sam Larry, using the death of the unfortunate passing of Mohbad as their weapon of choice. I'm prepared to answer any question. The reason I'm prepared to do that now is that the police has done, they've done their investigation and issued the preliminary report. If the investigation was still active, I will not be here. Because the job of a lawyer is to go to court and litigate. But it's also important for us to let people know that there's an alternate narrative that is based on facts, not illusion. Not illusion. People talk about NDLEA, that they took him to NDLEA and gave him a white substance on Naira Marley's instruction. That is, please, how ludicrous can that be, for God's sake? Naira Marley was not even in the country at the time. Does the NDLEA work for Naira Marley? The same NDLEA that went to the same house to bust his artist at the Malian house. So he now took them over and started giving them instructions on who to give white substance to. Another thing that is also very saddening in this whole conversation is that I was there when Naira Marley gave his statement to the police. He touched on, and in due course, I think we'll have to do something about that. Now, Naira Marley touched on some very explosive issues. And in his interview with Reno, he drew attention to those issues about how certain players in the industry had approached him and tried to forcefully get him to be initiated as a member of a secret cult. Oh yeah. You'll be amazed. He said so. He indicated that clearly.
Did he mention names? I don't want you to mention the names, but did he at least mention the names to the police?
Oh yes, he did. He gave them specific names of the people, the person that was responsible. And we're very hopeful that the police will follow up on that, because there's a bit of deliberate sieving and filtration of all the issues. You understand? In one breath, we want this issue to trigger a holistic review of the entire music industry. In another breath,
another call coming in. Guys, oops, we lost him. Was that me? Was that me? Was that my network or his network? Let me cross check. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, if you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen if you're watching on TikTok. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Follow my number one gifter. Follow my number one gifter. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. Follow my number one gifter. Follow my number one gifter. I'm going to try to bring him back. Double click the screen. Someone said we're enjoying the lawyer. You are saying you're enjoying the lawyer. Meanwhile, I insult you, the insulter when he did live. Somebody said he wants to hire the lawyer immediately. Someone said also bring Sam Larry lawyer. So I'm going to bring him back. Okay, he sent a request. I think calls were coming in. I just have one question for him. You know, I said I wasn't going to ask questions. It is your session. It's a session for you guys. Okay. So yes. There's one question I just want to ask, something that is just bothering me. Your network is a bit off. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, too.
I am aware that Naira Marley grew up in the UK. So shouldn't he be a UK citizen? Why does he need Netherlands citizenship? Is there any way you can throw some light on that?
No, not citizenship. He doesn't need Netherlands citizenship. He just needs the residency permit.
Okay. So he's a British citizen.
Yes, he is. He's a British citizen.
But wants Netherlands residency.
He's got it, but he just wanted to renew it. He wanted to renew it.
Okay. That was a question. Okay. Now I'm going to bring 3 people to ask questions. Please don't waste time on your questions. Ask one question, ask it quickly so that other people have the opportunity. Okay. I just wanted to ask clear that air because a lot of people are asking, is he a UK citizen? Why does he need this? Okay, so we don't know. Okay, so I'm going to bring Mama Tuzi, Niger Lebanese. Let me start with Niger Lebanese and Mama Tuzi. Just wait to Barry Nene. I'll bring you while we're waiting for the lawyer to come back. Niger Lebanese declined now, so why are you asking me to bring him?
If your lawyer is gone.
Yes, but you can ask your question.
The only question I want to ask him here is, I understand that he was not in the country when Mohbad died or passed away, yeah? But did he believe that bullying was part of his problem leading to his death?
I think you already answered that because we do not have any specific evidence linking Naira directly. You know, Naira and Sam Larry are 2 different instances. Let's not join them together. We have of Sam Larry, and I discussed that with him. We have of Sam Larry at the Zlatan shoot. You understand? But we do not have a specific Naira Marley evidence. I say
But
this.
what about the one that the video he did and said, if I buy, this person is responsible? Is that not a video as well? That's an evidence. Somebody is threatened.
Let's ask the lawyer. Now that's a good question. Let's ask the lawyer. So I'm hoping he'll come back. I'm hoping he'll come back. Okay, he's back now. Okay, so you'll ask the question again. But we also saw a video where he apologized for that. I also saw a video from Mubad.
But we need to know the time frame. Did he apologize before that video? Or is it
I've sent the lawyer a request. Let the lawyer answer it. But to me, like Kemiolun lawyer also said, in as much as we love Mubad dearly, let us not be blind to his own shortcomings. You see, when somebody don't pass, there's no way you can defend. They can defend themselves. But from Kemiolun lawyer's analysis, which I cannot verify or ascertain, the suggestion was that there was an altercation between Mubad and his friend, and Mubad hit the car with his fist and got glass in it, and then that was what the nurse was treating. So that, if that's the case, and I am not in any way saying it is, if that's the case, then it will be very hard to point to Naira Marley in that equation.
But do you believe that the phrase as well, sometimes when you've been bullied and you're depressed, you're going through a lot of stress, can lead you to become acting in certain ways that you're not supposed to be acting in normal ways? So probably if he was okay, he wouldn't have acted in that way. We all don't know the situation, what happened.
But we're also talking about substance here. So yes, so what?
How did he start taking the substance? From where? From who?
You are talking about an Ikorodu boy.
Well, we don't know when.
That's what I'm saying. So don't make it look like. Let's be careful not to join issues with issues. Kemiolun lawyer said a few things in the last live. We're waiting for the police to give us clarity on those things. Yes, you are 100% correct. If he was being bullied, he would be acting irrationally. But if Kemiolun lawyer said he was taking substance,
but she's not sure of it,
we need to wait for the toxicology report. And that is why it is early days for us to start holding somebody responsible when we've not seen what's in his system. You understand? So that is, you see, when you come to this table at this stage, we cannot even afford a single iota. Someone said, victory, best. Daddy Freeze, you're always one-sided. Block.
No, Daddy Freeze is not.
Block. Rapture. Go and meet your father in the village where he's killing rats. Block.
Daddy, say one thing. This boy was under your label. This boy, he sent you all his demo. You looked at it. You felt like, oh, he has a talent. Let me bring him under my label. You found out that he's stressed or he's under the influence of drugs or whatever substance he's taking. What help did you offer him in that time of need? Even though, even if you wanted to leave your labor, somebody that you love, that you've worked with, and you've seen that he has so much talent, what did Naira Marley offer him?
Let me answer you with that. Is Naira Marley a doctor? Is there any artist in Nigeria that does not have a drug problem?
Yeah, but you seek help for him.
But from where? From other people who are probably using the same thing?
No, you take the Therapist.
Who will take them? The other people that are using these things.
No, you yourself, you offer to take them to therapy.
How do you know that Naira Marley himself, though? I don't know. That's what you see. You are asking questions that are interwoven. How do you know that Naira Marley himself? you see, you are talking. Let me tell you, when you come, you know, from the very beginning, I said something about this thing here. If you don't understand the street, you cannot understand how street works.
Mhm.
Most young artists have substance problems.
Absolutely.
Not young artists, most young people this dispensation. Even in our families, we are dealing with what there's nobody here right now that does not have a person in their family that is dealing with substance issues. Don't you have somebody in your family, Nene, that's dealing with substance issues?
All do. Absolutely. You're right.
The one in my family, let me tell you the story. You can't help them. When you try to help them, they'll say you want to buy them. You don't understand how these people think. I am telling you my own personal experience with my own family member. They will fight you for trying to help them.
But let me ask you one question, Daddy Fish. I know you might not answer this. Maybe the lawyer will answer it. Does Naira Marley feel any kind of guilt that he has failed Mohbad?
Hey, this is your question. Get us a bill.
No, because that's the thing.
Let's ask the lawyer.
You might not buy somebody, but you.
We all feel. I feel guilty. I feel guilty that I did not speak out. We all feel guilty. This particular one is on all of us.
That we didn't listen to his words in his songs. Maybe we would have picked something up. So I want to ask the lawyer to ask Naira Marley, does he feel any kind of guilt, like he has failed in some kind of way?
I don't know. Only the lawyer cannot answer that. I think only Naira Marley can answer that question.
Does he feel any kind of guilt?
Okay. So thank you so much, Nene, for your questions. Do you want to just quickly ask them again, or at least just one of them again, since the lawyer is back here?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Yeah. I just wanted to ask a question. Probably it's directed to Naira Marley, but I'm asking it through you because you're here representing him.
Yeah.
Feel any kind of guilt, like somebody you've empowered, somebody that's been under your label, and you've seen so much talent, but does it feel Mohbad in any kind of way?
Well, what I can say to you is that he feels pain, not guilt. Because I've had that conversation with him. And Naira is a very strong person, but this one broke him. It broke him because Mohbad was like a crown jewel, or somebody that was very special to him. Of all his artists, Mohbad's story was going to be the story of, I took a chance with this project and it turned out to be fantastic, right? So, because the question of guilt comes from the place of not doing all that you can to help somebody. You know, may God rest his soul, may God rest his soul. But people need to ask friends, family, and members members of Mohbad's family. He had his troubles, he had his flaws, right? And Naira tried his best. Naira paid for scans, several hospitals, for brain scan, right, to be done when these various episodes were occurring. He paid for those to be done. He got to a point, he had to sit down with his parents to say, look, this guy is having this thing and it's becoming too recurrent. At this time, there were complaints that he was forgetting his lines, he goes on stage and he'll fall down, he cannot perform, you know. So the family, the mother and the father. And the parents said, give him to us. Let us take him and go and treat him. We have a video of this incident.
Yeah.
There's a video of the very incident. When Naira Marley told the parents, when the parents said, look, give him to us, we know what is wrong with him, we'll go and take care of him. And he still released money for that to be done.
But did he offer any kind of platform of psychiatric help?
I'm telling you that he paid for brain scans, he paid for hospital treatment, bills, he did.
Well, in his statement, in his video, he said that he paid for it, but he didn't go.
No, he went. In fact, I think we have one of the results from one of those scans. We have them.
Naira Marley on the video said I paid, but he didn't want to go.
No, he went. What he didn't go for, what happened was that when eventually they debated how do we approach this issue, right? And the family stepped in. Naira Marley stepped back. Don't forget that as at this time, we had already done a video saying that if anything happens to me, hold Naira Marley responsible. And you know the circumstance in which he made that video. He was in the room with his wife, and the wife can dispute this. The next thing, he just got up and jumped to the fence and started running and making that video. Nobody touched him, not one person.
Okay, sorry, Nene, you asked too many questions. Let another person ask, and I have to bring Niger Lebanese. I've been bringing him, he has been declining. Nene, goodbye. Please help me leave so I can bring somebody. All right. Okay, Bongoli, go ahead with your question.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Lawyer, thank you very much for all you are doing. I just want to say one thing. I'm going to support you when you are ready for that package. You see that package, those names you called, the name you called, G's Lover, Yabo Oju, Tonto DK.
Bongoli, calm down. Let's not.
Daddy Freeze.
The lawyer has not mentioned any names.
Okay, no, Daddy Freeze, I'm sorry, it's on your platform, what I'm about to say or what I'm saying, it is on me, it is not on you. I take full responsibility of what I'm talking about here. It's not you, Daddy Freeze. Because there is a case of sedition, there is a case of incitement, and there is a case of insurrection.
Exactly.
And it's challenging the sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I have my own issue with that. We saw all that happen. But that's by the side. But when that time comes, I, Bongoli, will do it together.
We'll be glad to receive your support.
I want people to understand something, that this is Naira Marley's lawyer. He is going to try as much as possible to push the case away from MURDER and try to minimize the BULLYING situation. Let us not be emotional here. The role of the people, or maybe the Lagos state government that may be prosecuting them, I don't know who's prosecuting them, or maybe the family or the friends or whoever, or his current label, God bless Naira Marley, what's his name, Mohbad soul, God bless his soul. They need to push for that. Because when you're in the court of law, we're talking about substantial evidence, we're talking about physical evidence, we're talking about circumstantial evidence, which has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. This is not a case. I'm not a lawyer, but
You're sounding like one.
No, I just want people to understand that these are not emotional thoughts. So the people that are watching this program today, have you watched the interview with the Nigerian police? Have you seen what they said? Now, what they said has moved this conversation to a different angle.
Absolutely.
And to the 2,800 and something people that are watching us today, most of you here are cyber bullies, respectfully.
Absolutely.
Bongoli, that's something to address another day.
Okay.
Thank you, Bongoli. We have not gotten to that bridge. You want to clean a fish that Bongoli, wait. You want to clean a fish that you have not yet caught. Catch the fish in the sea first. Then you can say you want to clean it. Fish where they swim, you know if you clean them.
Okay. So, my dear lawyer, I have one question for you.
Okay.
We know that we have not seen your client, Naira Marley.
Yes.
Physically doing anything, in the videos and all of that. We understand that when you're putting in evidence, there's a way you put in evidence according to the Evidence Act of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Absolutely.
We understand that all those videos flying online, you cannot just go and table it like that in the court of law.
But
We understand all of this. We understand all of those stuff. But now my question that I want to ask you is the bullying aspect. How is he going to escape the bullying aspect? You know why I say how is he going to escape the bullying aspect? Because everything circles around Naira Marley. Why wasn't he saying a word? Why wasn't he coming out to put like a disclaimer? And why did that go on and on? This is street talk. I understand. This is like street matter. Like anywhere, that in itself may cause or may have caused irreparable damages to that young man. God bless his soul. So my question is, that particular role that your client has played such that he didn't speak out, that may make him allegedly complicit. That's why I'm careful with my words here. I'm careful with my words. That can make him allegedly complicit. And we, the Nigerian state, can really push for that. So that's why I'm asking you this question, because he didn't speak out. The government has a video evidence that's clearly stated. If anything happens to him, this and this and this and that. But we had a video call where himself and Naira were speaking and he apologized and all of that stuff. But that is some people can say it's AI because you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. But the phone that happened in Naira Marley's place or his property or something, and the people around and all of that stuff, like that is very concrete physical evidence. So we are talking about
my brother. You see, you have made you are not a lawyer, but you have made very strong submissions, like a lawyer. So it's like you want to join us through the back door, I will not allow you. We will not allow you. You have to go through the front door. Then we will get you in properly. And it's a very interesting profession to practice, so I guarantee you that. In moments like this, your true calling as a lawyer, you have to summon it. Because let me shock you. Some of us are doing this thing completely pro bono at our own cost. Completely. I didn't need to say that, but you have that information. And I'm not alone. And why? Look, somebody has to stop this mob. Somebody has to face up to them. Otherwise, 3 people can have an agenda against you. And they will concoct a lie, pay bloggers, perfect the scheme, and you are completely taken out. That is our scenario. Now, let me address your issues, the issues you raised specifically. In order for you to say that you did not speak up, we have to first of all establish that there was something wrong going on. Now, this is it. Between 2019 and 2022, October 5, right, there was only one incident when Mohbad, may so rest in peace, said that if anything happens to him, hold Marley Records responsible. And that's that incident, and I said he was in the house, and then he suddenly had a bout of whatever breakdown, and then scaled the fence and started making that video, right? That video does not exist in isolation. It has context to it. If you even watch that video properly, you see that he was saying that this place is Idado or something, and the people around him were saying, no, it's not Idado. So he was not even self-aware of where he was even making the video. And subsequently, there were interactions between him, and Naira Marley. In a way, as to say, look, how can Naira Marley was trying to protect this guy. He didn't want people to know that this problem was a problem that he was dealing with. And the way to solve the problem is not to go about talking about it. It is to deal with it as a mental health issue, and to work with the family in doing so. And that is precisely what Naira Marley did. Precisely what he did.
Objection, Your Honor. That is objection, Your Honor. I know, Niger Lebanese, no. Let me just say this. You still have not answered the implicit question. The complicity of Naira Marley in all of this with that incident that happened in his house. You still
so I was going to land on that. That is the incident. That's the infamous incident of October 5, 2022. Right? Now, like I said before, that incident has a background to it, which was an argument that began on a group chat. Right? We are going to release those charts for Nigerians to see. We're going to release it. We have kept a lot of information because we wanted to respect the investigative process.
Can I ask a question, please, before you raise it? So, before I ask my question, let me do a disclaimer and say that, unlike the popular opinion that everybody knows who killed Mohbad, I don't know, because I like to be logical, right? I like to be logical.
Yeah.
So I cannot pinpoint someone. But I want to ask you a few questions based off of what you just said right now. Number one, and I'm going to say three things and then I will exit. That is number one, right? One of the things he did was you created a timeline. So if you don't mind, I want to pay attention.
I'm with you, please.
Yeah, you created a whole timeline of when Naira Marley was not in Nigeria. And for there to be a murder case or for there to be a charge, there has to be physical charging. There has to be a physicality involved.
Please, you spy. Don't let Instagram start giving me issues.
Sorry, fine. That for there to be, a spy situation, there has to be a physical attachment to it. I want to submit to you that is not accurate. I don't want to say it's a lie. I want to submit to you that is inaccurate. And I'm going to ask you a logical question. If I have a lot of money and I put out a hit on Bomboli and somebody else carries out the hit, am I guilty of spy, or can I say MURDER?
Yes, you can spell it out.
Am I guilty of murder?
No, you can't say it, but you can spell it out.
Okay, I can spell it out. Am I guilty? No, I'm just asking you a question.
No, you can't say yes or no now, Oga. You can't say yes or no because you have created a completely different scenario, which is that I am not disprove what I have said. I have said that there has to be proximate. Somebody has to do the act. Whether you are doing it directly or you are doing it indirectly, somebody has to do the act. In this case, who in the vicinity of the deceased works for what do you call it?
That hasn't been proven. That
these are Mohbad's friends. It has been established. The police have established that.
No,
Hold on. Did you, Niger Lebanese, did you not watch the police briefing today?
I did, right? I'm just saying, I watched what they said.
Okay. Because I'm working with that report. According to that report, the nurse, one guy called Spending that I've never heard of before, were the people that they spoke of. Now, Kemi Olunloyo came and said Mohbad got into a fight hours before that and his hand was badly wounded.
Yes.
Is that true, lawyer? Lawyer, is that true?
Yes, he got into a fight with Prime Boy.
He got into a fight with Prime Boy. No, wait. You see, let me tell you, sorry, Niger Lebanese, you are taking us back to 3 weeks ago.
Police.
From today's, you see, one thing I did with these cases, I follow this case daily. Tomorrow, if another evidence comes out that implicates Naira Marley, I will be the first to come here and say, one evidence don't come. This one, they implicate Naira Marley. But because we've been following it daily, we have now gotten to a point where Lagos police have released a report. The nurse was mentioned. The nurse was treating him at home. Listen, hold on. Let me explain something to you from my understanding. I may be wrong. If he had a gun, if somebody shot him, they can say, what is it called? Naira Marley sent them to shoot him. Now, argument cause fight between two friends. How do you bring Naira Marley into that? From the latest police report, which I played live twice, I played it on my own when, as it was breaking, I played it live. When I brought Kemi Olun lawyer, I played it live again. This is police addressing the people. Prime Boy has not denied it. The wife also suggested that there was a quarrel between Prime Boy and Mohbad. Prime Boy suggested that it was the wife and Mohbad. We have narrowed it down to that. We are no longer in that conspiracy zone of aliens and mammoths.
That is freeze. That freeze. I'm sorry. I want to submit that I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. You guys got a report, okay? You guys got a report, but we also know where the report came from. And I'm sorry, I just do not trust the source of the report. I understand that there was a report. Listen to this. And I understand that the report stands. It's a police report. And we all know how strong...
In this particular instance, brother, in this particular instance, initially I was marking the police 60%. Then increased to 70%. As of today, I'm giving police 85% on this case. 85% on this case.
Just to help you.
We know your style.
Can I catch you? Daddy Freeze,
Yes.
If you don't mind, let me submit two things to you right now. There was something that all of us didn't know. That his lawyer, without even knowing, just gave us what could or could not possibly be a motive. Most of us didn't know that Mohbad went with $70,000. That is, you and I know that is not little money to most Nigerians. That could be a motive. So we cannot sit down here and deny that
Marley was.
Let him land. He has a point. Let's hear him.
Give me 1 second. The reason why I'm saying this, right? When I came up here, I said I want to ask him logical questions. I'm not emotional about the case, and I'm not blind about the case, and I'm not saying that we are proving that he's the murderer. But I'm telling you that without you even knowing, you've given us another reason that could be a motive. You understand what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, in most countries, and Bongo, you will know this, there's something called a dead man's confession. A dead man's confession carries a lot of weight, Daddy Freeze. So if I look now and I say, hey, if something ever happens to me, please, even if it's 5 years from now, check this person. Daddy Freeze, most people that carry out hits, they don't do it the same month. They don't do it 2 months after. They don't do it 3 months after. They do it long after for no traces. Again, please let me submit that I'm not insinuating in any way, shape, or form that Naira is the killer or that he is involved. But I'm just telling you as the lawyer that you have also opened a can of worms without even knowing that you did. And I'm letting you know that, yes, police gave a report, but we also know that the poor ones, look at that is out of the hierarchy of the people that were arrested, the bottom two were the accused. The top two, all of a sudden, are exonerated.
My brother, I've not been addressing this every day for the last 2 weeks for this. Right. They were not exonerated. They were exonerated because of proxy. Information getting to us now. This guy said he was in the car with Mohbad and Mohbad was quarreling with his wife on the phone. He said it. Prime Boy. Wait, you see, listen. Prime Boy was the last person seen with Mohbad. And there was, yes?
What is it? Hold on. Niger Lebanese and the lawyer, and to the 3,400 people watching, 3,400 people watching us. This fight incident or scenario had already been on air, but it was just that the bloggers, in quotes, never said a word about it. But we already knew that there was a fight in Ikorodu after the event. It was reported, but they killed that news. So what the police are saying today rephrase what I said at the beginning when we're talking about this 2-3 weeks back. Remember, I said it on your program that there was
Mongoli, you want to sit down here and tell me that the same Sam Larry crew and Naira Marley crew that will not let this man make a simple video where okay with him going away with $70,000. Please,
hold on, bro. Sorry, Niger Lebanese, you are over flavoring the way the lawyer puts it and over peppering a particular instance. We have gone past all that. We have established a case of bullying and harassment. We have established that against what's his name? Sam Larry. We have not vindicated Naira Marley from bullying. Maybe we don't have the right evidence, but we have not vindicated him. But we are not dealing with bullying today. We are dealing with the pie. The pie involves the last 48 hours of this man's life on earth. And I want you to say something that, apart from emotion, that brings Naira Marley into that 48 hours. I want to hear it. I'm open to listening to this and hearing it. Because we have, listen, police has released report. You see, what I'm saying is you are where we were 3 weeks ago. After that, wife don't talk. They don't declare Prime Boy wanted. Do you know what it means to be declared wanted? Let me ask you a question. Why was Naira Marley and Sam Larry not declared wanted? Not because they are rich. Because the police was conversing with them through lawyers. Come to Nigeria, come here. But you see, Prime Boy, according to the police, made it impossible for them to have a interaction with him. When they declare you wanted and put 1 million on your head, just know that they've tried to reach you in every possible way. They don't go your house, they don't go your mama's house, they don't look for you, they know if you find you. Before, police cannot just wake up one day, especially in a case of such high profile, and decide that they want to declare somebody wanted.
With 1 million naira on his
with
head.
With 1 million naira on his head. So, bro, listen.
That is respectfully. That is, I'll soon leave now. Please bring Mama Tuzi. Bring Mama Tuzi when I leave, sir. Because of she has the healthcare background and all of those things. So she can really speak on it. But we need to listen to Niger Lebanese. There's a reason why. Because the Niger Lebanese sentiment is still out there. I'm not saying sentiment in a negative way.
Yes.
The reason why the Niger Lebanese sentiment will still stay or bias, not bias in a negative way. So we need to still hear him out. Because at the end of the day, immediate cause of the unfortunate incident, and then there could have been gradual cause of the incident. So now a lawyer can actually go with the gradual cause of incident. We can face the immediate cause of incident, but there's a case that Bongoli can actually.
I'm not going to sorry. Can I quickly correct something? Can I quickly correct something? Because it seems like we're operating on a very false premise.
No, you have to leave yourself.
There is something called death man declaration, and when the person says this person is going to kill me, even if he dies 5 years after that, the person that he named in his declaration, that's not how it works. We have the honor and jurisprudence.
Sorry, no.
Wait, let me make the point.
Now, a dead man's confession.
Hold on, brother. This is a lawyer.
No.
Are you a lawyer?
No.
Hold on, Niger Lebanese. Are you a lawyer?
Declaration. Yeah, exactly. It's called a dead man's statement. A dead man's statement that is relevant for the purpose of criminal conviction is called dying declaration. And one of the fundamental principles for applying the principle of dying declaration is that it must be proximate to the moment of death. So it means that you must have struck me on the head and I say, Niger Lebanese has hit my head, and then I pass on. If you struck me day before yesterday and I went to the place I ate I told somebody, I stop you, I might die from this strike. I went everywhere. 3 days after, I now die. It will not work. It doesn't work that way. So in order for a dying declaration to be applicable in any criminal matter, it must be proximate to the moment of the eventual passing of the individual. So your dead man's confession or whatever you call it, it does not apply in this instance.
That is freeze.
He made his video over 1 year ago. Left the record to over 1 year ago.
Okay.
He surrounded with several other people. He could have offended multiple other people. You understand? So you cannot say simply because he made that video, if you offend somebody, like as it happened in this case.
Now hold on. To bring my brother, to bring this case to clarity, this is a lawyer that I know. His name is Josie. So let's hear from Josie. Josie used to belong to Peter Obi's camp, if I remember, when we had the clash of the supporters here.
That's correct.
So let's hear from you as a lawyer, Josie.
So in terms of dying declaration, the lawyer is 100% correct. It is when the person is seen dead, what the person says at that point,
Yes.
right? What the law says is that it is not considered as hearsay.
Yes.
Is somebody else is reporting, is giving an account of a dying declaration. It's not considered. It's one of the exceptions to hearsay. Hearsay means that, oh, I heard somebody say this. It's got no weight in law. But a dying declaration has weight in law, even though it's hearsay. So what the lawyer is saying is correct. Dying declaration is what you say at the point you are dying. You can't make a statement today, go and eat a camel tomorrow, and then come back and say that no, it doesn't work that way. So if I qualify as a dying, so listen to this. If I'm staying in my house right now, right? Yes. If I'm in my house right now, yes. Right, and you send somebody to buy me, right? Listen to this. You send somebody to buy me. The person gets to my house, right, and figures out that they know me, and they tell me, hey, lawyer sent me to buy you, and I put out a declaration and say, hey, listen, guys, if I ever buy, right, it came from this person because this person just sent someone to buy me. You're telling me it doesn't carry any weight in court? That is not dying declaration. This is not about emotions. It's about what the law says. So if you can't bring any law, no lawyer will come here and tell you, oh, somebody says, as a matter of fact, anybody's reported that is still hearsay. So I can, so I'm not saying, again, let me maybe take aside from this case. Somebody can be mischievous. I want to put somebody in trouble. I'm not saying that indeed. I'm just giving general example. Somebody can be mischievous. I may not like your face. I may say certain things, right? It doesn't mean that it is what I'm saying. You will take it hook, line, and sinker, and they're wrong with that. It doesn't work that way. Even if you make a statement, it must be backed by evidence. Anybody can make accusations against anybody at any time. That's not the way the law works. You get my point? So, dying declaration only can be admissible in court only if the person at that point is the person actually knows that I'm going. Let's say somebody who's in short and the person is at the point of death and the person makes a statement. That does not mean that thing is true, but the reality is that the court can admit it. That's what it means. And actually, when I came up here initially, I didn't use the word dying declaration. He used that word. I said it.
That's the proper word.
I said a dead man's confession was what I said. Yeah. But that's what you're trying to. Let's clarify that first. Dying declaration. What the sentence you use or the phrase you use is actually the right word legally speaking is called dying declaration. Yeah. So the lawyer is 100% correct. I can't say otherwise. But the point to raise is very important because if we know how criminals work, right? They may do so many things that will be distractions, right? I'm not saying that's what happened, but the police need to look at this holistically. I think their conclusion is too hasty. It is that's my opinion.
Naija, that's not your opinion. Your opinion is, as far as I'm concerned, your opinion is a fairy tale. You are working with, no, I'm telling you, bro, you are working with what we were working with 3 weeks ago.
No, it's not. That freeze. Listen to
I
what
agree.
said.
You see, I agree with what Josie said. It looks hasty to us, but let's also understand that they're under pressure. Nigeria, this case has been the highest profile case Nigeria
Like
has
I said, because
witnessed.
I don't like the report. I think the report is shady. And you said you're giving Nigerian police 85% on this one, and I said how?
Because I know how Nigerian police can be. This particular one, they tried. They tried. They tried.
That freeze.
They tried.
How?
They tried. They tried.
Despite the fact that they still came down with.
Sorry, Josie. Do you have any question?
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, please help me leave so I can bring Mama Tuzi so we can end.
That's fine.
So we can end.
Okay.
So
I was saying, despite the fact that the police still made some conclusions as it relates to assault and all that affecting Naira, we believe that the police did their best in the circumstance. And the truth is this, sir. The way an investigation works is that you follow the facts wherever they lead you. If they lead you to your father's house, that's where the facts lead you to. You can't go elsewhere. Every hypothesis is possible until you begin to interrogate the facts. Once you start interrogating the facts, immediately you have to follow
mute. He's talking.
So you have to follow the facts wherever they lead you. And the facts in this case were interrogated. If there was no fight on the 10th of September, there would have been no injury. If there was no injury to his finger, there would have been no need for a nurse to administer tetanus injection. If there was no tetanus injection, perhaps the guy would be attending another show in a few days' time. So and even the father, if you remember the interview the father granted to Punch, he said it when they asked him what happened to his son. He explained clearly. He was the first person to highlight this issue of the injury being proximate cause to the eventual unfortunate incident. And just to make this point also, there are also several videos where the deceased accused his wife of wanting to kill him. Are we going to hold her responsible also? Yeah, wife severally of wanting to kill him.
I saw one of those. Oh yeah.
Exactly. So are we going to also hold her responsible and say, okay, and spin off a conspiracy theory and say that, okay, because his son looks like, as they say, I tell it to them, looks like Sam Larry, she does not want the disease to know, she therefore hired somebody, she did this. Apparently, the wife was even proximate, she was within the vicinity at the time the entire incident that led to his eventual passing occurred. So are we going to now say that because the man accused his wife that was available throughout the period and say, okay, the police should go and arrest her? So the police followed the facts wherever it led them. Our only slight concern we have was that, the investigators might, we're not saying it was, might have been marinated by the barrage of social media propaganda targeted at Naira Marley, which was unfounded. You understand? So that's just the point we make. And then we say they could have arrived at a different conclusion, looking at the same set of facts, if they were not overly eager to say, let us offer a peace offering to this regime mob. And that raises the issue of at what point do we begin to hold people responsible for their behavior on social media? That's a very keen conversation we must have as a nation. Let me not take over your
time. We're rounding off anyway. Ify, real quick, what are your comments?
I have two comments. First of all, I have to say to Naira Marley's lawyer that I think he's doing a good job. Everyone needs to understand that he has this job called out for him. He's defending Naira Marley. No one is going to expect him to come out and say things that wouldn't support the position that he's taking. And since I've said that, my other question would be, listening to the police today, they haven't quite vindicated Naira Marley.
Oh, I agree.
Yes. So don't you think that you granting this interview might be a bit or a tad too early? Because tomorrow, what if your client comes and becomes the main person of interest, I'm just saying for the sake of argument, and he becomes the main person of interest in this criminal investigation, and then by commission or omission, you said something that would actually prejudice your client's position, don't you think it might have been a tad too early?
Well, first of all, I appreciate your concern, and it is coming from a very good place. I appreciate your concern. First of all, we are very professional. The way that we approach matters like this. I have the consent of my clients to engage in this activity tonight. I seldom do this. I don't do this. You understand? But it's the unique nature of this very case, which is that we believe that because of our absence from the social media space of presenting the facts as they are, right? We believe that it have affected one way or another. And the end of the matter does not end with the police investigation. As you are aware, the matter is going to the DPP, right? And DPP will look at it. So it's very important that we begin to urgently put out this the factual series of events as we know it and as we can provide evidence to substantiate it. Secondly, there is nothing I have said here that Marley did not write in a statement. If you apply for a copy of a statement today, you will validate everything I have said. This statement was taken in a room that was where there was recording. His statement is now with the police report. You can apply for it. There is nothing I have said here. I have not invented a single fact. Everything I have said here is as he put down in the statement to the police. I have not gone outside of that. Then finally, I have absolute faith and implicit confidence in the Nigerian police force. They do not manufacture evidence. They do not choreograph evidence. The fact that they come to a conclusion that my client was not complicit is because the evidence led them. They didn't do us a favor. You understand? So it's not like they did us a favor that I will now say no. And I don't think the police will have a problem with explaining to Nigerians what the issues are on such a thorny and very, very charged national matter. And if you look at my representation, I'm not blamed the police. I've in fact said that they have done their best within this circumstance. But I've stated where perhaps we would have been happier. And lawyers are always liberties, we always ask for more. If you give us everything, we'll ask for more. So the police understands our language when we say that, assuming you came to a different conclusion and said, go home, you don't have any problem anymore, would have been happier. You understand? But overall, my presentation here today is sanctioned by my client. They are the facts as presented to us by him and to the police. And we have not done anything to undermine the police. In any case, they have even submitted, they are going to be submitting their investigation to the DPP. And it is very important for us to make a presence in the social media space so that those who have made this case, their vested interest, and they want to create an economy out of it, we need to put them out of business.
Okay, let me introduce her to you. Ify is one of my friends. She's also a lawyer, by the way. She was called to the Nigerian bar, but she's currently practicing in Canada. Ify, say what you want to say so I can bring somebody else.
Okay, perfect, Adifris. Thank you. So, yes, thank you very much for your answers to my questions. And yeah, I totally agree that it was nice to put out your client's position. As long as your client sanctioned, the things that you said here today, that's okay, so that tomorrow he doesn't come around and say, oh, you overstepped your bounds and all of that. But perhaps just a piece of advice, I would say that your work now or your job would be to, distance your clients as far away as possible from the actions of Sam Larry. I don't know if there's going to be direct evidence linking your client.
I try to say that to you too. Separate Sam Larry from Naira Marley. It will help.
We're not together in any way. And the only reason I answered your question, and you if you remember, sir, you asked me a direct question, and that was why I provided a direct response. And I said, this is from information I got from his lawyer and speaking with him. Sam Larry and Naira Marley are completely different as it relates to this matter. You understand? And so there is nothing linking both of them. Sam Larry is an adult. He took his decisions on his own. Naira Marley does not have anything to do with decisions taken by Sam Larry.
All right. Ify, leave. I have to bring Sir Bio. That's the last person. Now, Yetunde can ask a question. Ify, my darling, take care of yourself. I'll give you a call.
Please, I'm going out. Yeah.
You are going clubbing.
Yeah, I'm going out in London. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm in London. Bye, Daddy, please. Good night.
Hello. Hi, Dr. Chris. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Lawyer Janine. Thank you for coming on. I had some of the questions I wanted to ask. I think somebody already posted that question to you, which was that at any point did Naira Marley try to mitigate the fracas that was happening between Mohbad and his own friend Sam Larry? I think you already mentioned that maybe he was aware of it. I just wanted to know, was he aware?
No, not at all. Not at all. Naira Marley had nothing to do with whatever Sam Larry was.
No, I understand that. But my question is, was Naira Marley aware that that was happening? That Sam Larry was doing that? It wasn't. Okay. And because I don't want us to get things more jumbled up, I need you to clarify some timeline, because I think we are all getting lost in the timeline. When did Mohbad leave Marlian Records officially?
October 5, I think October 5 or there. After that October 5 incident, his lawyer sent a letter, I think on the same day, saying that he was no longer a member of the record. And
Okay,
then 2022.
2022. Okay, so when did also when he left, how long after that incident did Mohbad contacted, or Mohbad's wife contacted Naira on behalf of Mohbad, because he was having episodes and they needed somebody to talk to him? How long from the...
No, I don't have that date offhand, but I can get that and I'll provide it to certificate.
Do you think it's within the same year? Was it 2022 also, or what?
He said he doesn't know.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it, but yes.
Okay. Do you know if Mohbad was already signed with another record label?
He must have, but from what Naira told me, he had no interest in what happened with him once he left his record label. So he must have, because he continued to sing and drop other songs. You know, I think he must have. Because I know that actually he created a moralization or something.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question was because the brief interview that Naira granted Reno Omokri, he mentioned that Mohbad was already signed up to one clause or one play, some record label, that he was with another record label. I wanted to know if you, as Naira Marley's lawyer, if you are also doing your own investigation on the side to talk to the new record label to know with them, their client, this new artist, what's the state of mind? Because of course, Naira is always saying, with Naira Marley, they said he has memory loss, he can't remember his lines. Was he having the same issue there with this new record label? And were they aware that Sam Larry, that their artist was having issue with someone named Sam Larry?
Well, you see, I think the answer to that is self-evident. There are videos. In fact, there was a show that the deceased had in Kenya. And that show was, I think it was after that his show in London that he went for. I think he eventually went for a show in Kenya, and it was from what I understand, it was a mess because he could not perform. He forgot his lines. I understand that the organizers of that show in Kenya even demanded for a refund.
Do we have a record? Do we have a record of that?
This is in public. This is in public. It's in the public space. It's in the public space. And
what I'm trying to say is that something being in the public space does not necessarily mean it will be allowed in the courtroom. So if you're trying to defend your lawyer, because I was joking in the comment about that.
That's if we're going to build our defense along those lines.
No, but that's a part of your client's defense, right? Wouldn't that be part of your client's defense?
We've lost him.
Oh, I think it's back.
All right, let us hear from Sir B.O.
Thank you very much. This Mohbad issue, I know when it first started, we were very tribal, which is very good. We should not be moved by emotions. So I understand that. Personally, I'm not a fan of Naira Marley or team and others. And I also would like Naira Marley to know that regardless of the outcome of this investigation, the final disposition and all that stuff, that that does not exclude it from the fact that Nigerians are not happy the way they are treated over in the past. So, and secondly, the Nigerian police did an excellent job. And let us not be moved by emotions. Most times, before you can come into a topic and comment, try to make sure that you listen to the police submission completely. So I have done that. With that being said, based on the submission from the Nigerian police, they did not even let Naira Marley and others. They are all still part suspect contributors to the series of events. But however, the death of the buying of our upcoming artists or whatever, Mohbad, the timeline was perfectly established. Their submission placed every suspect at a particular location at a particular time. So this is a case if that was well built, well developed, and well detailed, that you can tell where everybody was at a particular time. With that being said, it's a very easy case for a judge or anybody that have common sense to understand and place whoever they are suspecting at a particular location. Now, we know from the police submission that the primary suspect or principal suspect is the nurse that administered, those whatever. Now, I know many people are just angry because they are not happy with the way Naira Marley treated Mohbad. I too am part of that.
Me
I'm
too.
not happy, not because it is just Naira Marley, but because we are against oppression. And nobody likes oppression. Okay? So, the lawyer, I thank God that you are back. So, even after this...
Is it around the way that the way to finish me with serious question?
Hold on now. I don't have a question for you. Let me just finish my submission. I don't have a question for you. The only thing I have for you... Yeah, I don't have a question for you. The only thing I have for you is if you still have your time talking to your client, let him know that there are people out there that are still not happy with him naturally based on those things that we saw, the videos which the police talked about. The videos, the way he treated Mohbad in the past. It could be 10 years ago, it could be 2 years ago, it could be 6 years ago. But however, I'm not part of those that would just say because of that, we should just pin the man down. Do you understand? I believe Naira has also suffered some consequences from Nigerians since this entire episode. Okay? But I'm not a judge to say, okay, that is enough. Everybody can just take it the way they are. It is. When this first happened, I said it. I told my friend there, DS, I said my first suspect would be the nurse. But however, I'm not going to let that direction now. Now, at the end of the day, the police have placed everybody, every suspect at a particular timeline and their participation in this entire saga. Okay? If for any reason, God forbid, that the thing the gentleman said before he left, maybe try to bring a case of conspiracy and say that, oh, maybe the nurse was sent to do something. I don't think the nurse would be a fool and would say, oh, let me just put your case on my head. Exactly. So we're killing ourselves. Exactly. This is a very simple ABC case. This guy was ill, and at the end of the day, he did not get the proper medication or whatever, whether caused by his own decision or by the system or by whatever, So the thing is, the harm this could be abated if this man for any reason, has gotten a better medication through other medication. Do you understand? So, the case, the police submission, again, I want to end up by giving them kudos to the Nigerian police.
Yes, I do. The only concern I have about the police was that the wife, I think I might be using the system here, which is in the United States. I feel like nobody can make, as far as I'm available, nobody can make a decision on my spouse except me. Just like nobody can make a decision on me without my husband. And she was in the house with them. She was also, based on what the police told us, she actually pleaded with him to go to the hospital. He refused. When they were making the decision to bring this quack, the auxiliary nurse, ill-equipped nurse, in to treat the husband, what was our own part in all this scenario? Because of everything.
My sister, can you just pause a little bit there, because you just said something that I don't want to forget that chain of thought. We don't really want to bring people back, because if you really look at this issue, thank God, I also live in the US, just like you. But there's something I want to say. The first event happened somewhere where the gentleman injured his hands. To be honest,
yes.
In the United States, you cannot make an event without event insurance. Okay?
Yes.
And if you have any event and somebody injured themselves from that event, regardless, okay? Because I'm just saying this, we don't want to really look at that area,
Mm-hmm.
If that event was where they were supposed to take the guy first, to get proper medication first.
Yes.
That is the truth.
Yes, that's the truth. Yes, because technically, if the family want to do it, they could sue so very hard, because they organized the event and he got injured from the event. They could actually do a civil suit in that case. Yes. So.
Make una help me leave so now my brother.
No, we are just making a hypothetical situation.
That's why I didn't want to, because so it's your person, but I can't go there. That's why we are not looking backward. I just have to mention that, because the lady here is so intelligent. She was talking about, different environment. So that injury started from that place, which,
yes,
according to the police, whether he was, and we understand that it was a self-injury.
Self-inflicted.
Yes, self-inflicted injury. That was what the police said. I wasn't there.
Unintentional self-inflicted. Unintentional self-inflicted.
Trying to hit somebody, but you end up hurting yourself.
Yes.
Something like that. That was according to the police submission. So if that is true, okay, and the guy was taking on, and even the person who was trying to hit, even concluded that he even reported to somebody who we all know on social media, who is a millionaire according to Nigerian standard. And that person asked him to stay behind, that he was going to look at what happened, if that makes sense. And that person went there and did not come back to him. That person, I don't know him personally, but from what I see on social media on that person, he can take that guy to any hospital in the world without blinking his eyes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, for all that
except they have, like Dr. Kemi Olunloyo said earlier, except they knew there was substance at the event that this artist took, and they were the ones that supplied it, and they did not want to get themselves wrapped into it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to go deep, but that's the truth.
Let us jump past that event. So, that being said, that was that injury that led to the invitation of a nurse. That is the truth. If there was no injury,
not a nurse. Please stop calling that girl a nurse. So you are disrespecting my own profession.
All right, guys, we can see that the lawyer is tired. We are used to social media. The lawyer is tired. So, Bill, please, can you round up?
Let me just say a quick last thing. I understand that emotions are running high. As a matter of fact, this is the first time I'm going to be talking publicly on Mohbad. I've mentioned him twice on my page, and it's just prayer for the dead. We need to be objective and try to, it's hard to separate emotion from things like this, because it was really something touchy. But we need to also not try to say, because we want to kill a snake, we will burn down the house. We cannot say, because yes, Naira and Sam, they did something that we cannot agree. Under no circumstance should anybody be scared of be afraid of anything at any moment. And this man also could also have some mental issue. I cannot diagnose him because I'm not his physician, but he was exhibiting symptoms that could be pointing to he was probably having early symptoms, early onset of whatever, bipolar or schizophrenia. I've had family members in that situation. That is real deal. Except you've lived with people that suffered mental health, a mental issue, you really can't understand the gravity of what can happen when they're having their crisis. So there are so many things theories that will be coming out. The police is doing a good job by giving us updates and letting us know. So let's wait for the rest of the information to come out. The autopsy is still going to come out. The toxicology will come out. Even when Abiola died, we didn't get everything in one day. It took a while. So we need to just be patient. Let's all be objective. And I know that if it was US, they will not do this case in Lagos. They will move it to another state because the jury pool in Lagos is tainted. So please, may God rest the soul of
the mountain we have to climb.
So Yetunde, please leave so I can bring one more person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right.
And if it's one more person,
Just a very quick question. I've told her it's one question. She has been with us since and she's been begging. She wants to ask a question. Oh wow, they say I can only bring 3 hosts. That means somebody is still hanging. Okay. All right. So one more person. Where's your call, Linda? That's the last person. And I said it has to be a quick one. Linda, send me your request. I can't see you. Lawyer, don't tire.
Lawyer, don't talk tire.
Lawyer, don't talk tire. He say online court pass. He pass real court. You go talk tire. You go talk tire. So just one more question, and after that, okay, Mrs. Linda, that's her handle. Mrs. Linda. And I've told her just one question. Okay, so I've invited her. Okay. All right, she's here. One question, my dear sister.
So I have just one question.
Okay.
So my question is, I think that the Nigerian police might have spoken too soon today. And the reason why I said that is because everyone is still waiting on the toxicology report. So why are we talking about different medications that were already that are in his system or that might have bited him when we don't even have the toxicology report yet? Why are we not waiting to get the full toxicology report? Because we may run into a situation of, in 2 weeks' time, right, they're going to come back and say something different on the toxicology report. And then everybody's going to start saying, hey, the Nigerian police are making things up or they're messing with the report. So why come out today and mention some drugs that were, administered to the deceased versus waiting to get the toxicology report?
I think we can quickly separate the issues. I think what the police did today, right, was to give a proximate cause of death, and to do that, they said the CP was specific about it, that they relied on the opinion of experts. In fact, I think in the interrogation of the nurse, they even brought in subject matter experts to join in our interrogation, and they found that the combination of those 3 drugs administered on him immediately provoked a reaction, which led him to convulsing and all that. And the medical experts who were consulted by the police agreed with the conclusion, right? Agreed with the conclusion that that reaction that he got arises from the combination of drugs administered on him. So that's why the police felt confident enough to come out with this as it relates to cause of death. Now, there can be other accelerants other factors that might accelerate, that reaction. That is what the toxicology report will reveal. You understand? So I think that's my understanding and my reading of the situation. But of course, as a defense counsel in this matter, we would have loved to have everything ready and all that. To say, okay, we can read this, we can read that. But I think with what the police have put out, we can go with, we have enough to go with as it relates to the proximate cause of death. I think we have enough to go with, and that's the reason why the police came out. And look, let me just say this again. The police officers are not, they were not there when all of these incidents happened, right? Yeah, it's easy. We can, of course, defense counsels will always accuse policemen that because you want them to do your bidding, But at the end of the day, when you take a balanced assessment of how everything has been approached by the Nigerian police force, it is very difficult for you to offer words of condemnation, except you are just a conspiracy theorist from somewhere else.
So it's safe to say that we don't really know the actual cause of death until the toxicology report comes out.
The toxicology report will only come to from my reading of that is that the report will come to confirm what the police have said. They don't expect a different outcome.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then, please, thank you. That was all my questions.
Okay, my darling sister, hope you got the answer you wanted. No be only lawyer tire. Me said don't tire. No need for you to go. So, lawyer, in your final words, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Now, it has been a roller coaster. Not for me particularly, but for Naira Marley. And his state of mind was completely altered once he heard about Mohbad's death. And everything he has tried to do and offer has been love, support, and assurance. Now it became a paradox, the fact that even him himself is now being alleged to have played a role one way or another. But not necessarily now, at least by the police, not necessarily in his death, but by allegedly being involved in the activities of October 5, 2022. For those who decided to spin off an entire new agenda of going after Naira Marley, clearly you have missed your target. For those who have always supported us and have always believed, or those who were even skeptical enough to hold back, we can only thank you and assure you that it is your abiding inquisitive nature that will eventually save this country, because there is a social media crisis that is upon us. It is an impending crisis. It will implode, and unless something is done about it, we will all be consumed by it. Finally, our final words are that the search for justice is a just and a beautiful thing. It does not entertain bullying, scapegoating, criminalizing, bearing false witnesses. No. If you are after justice, which is a beautiful thing to do, your method must be clean, your approach must be pure, because he who comes to equity must also come with clean hands. So I thank you for this opportunity. I don't know whether I will be on any other platform again doing the same thing, because this has been grinding and very exhausting, And I know that it's only God that can reward you for your selflessness in matters like this, because at the end of the day, because of your platform, many people today are better informed. Many people today will change their mind and decide that it is always better to wait for all the facts to be aggregated before we jump into conclusions. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody who has expressed a view. We appreciate your opinion. We will take it on board. For everybody who has also who still continues to harbor one or two hatred against, when Naira Marley is out of this by the grace of God, he will engage Nigeria and engage his fans. There are so many things about this guy that people don't know. This is a guy, he's a terrific guy, he's a great guy. He's just simply an artist. He's just, all what you see is just what they call mirage, That's not who he is. He's a completely different intelligent animal, a great guy you want to be with. You know, and we are very hopeful that going forward he will do more to express that side of him. You know, and not so much about the craft that although he has become a master of. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Thank you. And God bless you.
All right, God bless you too. You are most welcome. Remember, as the case develops, if new evidence is brought forward, we will be the first to tender such evidence to you guys. Okay, like many people have agreed, Naira Marley has not been exonerated. Let's not take this as Naira Marley has been exonerated. No, if that point comes, when we get there and we are given enough evidence by the police and reliable sources, we would understand. But right now, let us look more at the people who are around the deceased in his final 72 hours on earth. There's something that beggars say when they come to your window. Akoba adaba, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ a rí. And if
Please, let me say something, please, just before you round up. Please, we also express our sincere and heartfelt condolences to the family of Mubarak. Naira Marley has a plan, and I have his authority to say that he has a very, 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 very good plan, and he will let Nigerians know what his plan is, right? And he will do right. He will do right by Mubarak and his family, by the grace of God.
Amen. So thank you all so much. Thank you, lawyer. I promise that this platform is going to be unbiased. This platform is, and by unbiased, I mean unbiased to everybody. We cannot say we are unbiased and then there is no evidence linking one person and we are hammering that person. By unbiased, we have to be unbiased to all. Prime Boy, you can also bring your lawyer or you can come. Same thing with Samilari. You are welcome to come to defend yourself or send your lawyer or legal representation. On this show, I have had the police. I've had Benjamin Hundein address us. I have had so many people come and Obake Solo. So many people have come to contribute to this particular topic. You don't have to believe anything. At the end of the day, what you believe is your responsibility. Daddy Freeze might be convincing, but it does not convince you. The lawyer might be convincing, it does not convince you. You choose what to believe. And that is entirely your prerogative. God bless you. Do have a splendid weekend. And I think I've earned some rest for the rest of the weekend. It's been tough. Take care. Take care. And God bless. On my parting note, say no to any form of bullying. And I believe that with this case, the Nigerian entertainment industry, especially the music industry, will be sanitized by the grace of God and by our joint effort. Zero tolerance for bullying or harassment. Take care and God bless you all.